Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Dr. Angelika Maria Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. So today let's talk about headaches. As I continue focusing on the head area over the next few weeks, let's spend at least 2 videos on headaches and migraines. If you are interested in the subject of hair loss, maybe you want to scroll on my playlist. I think I made a video about this in the past already. But in this video, I will share with you all about how you can heal your headaches with the most natural and effective therapeutic protocols, the ones which work. So enjoy. To stay updated with more ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and family, and have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy, where you will find comprehensive certified home study online courses in health and wellness coaching, integrated mental health, homeopathy, and so much more. And if you're interested in a personal health consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at health@medicanova.net. So today's video starts with a question. What situation in your life or who is giving you a headache? What situation gives you a pounding headache? Right? You can see already headache has a lot to do with tension. Today's food for thought comes from Louise Hay, and she describes the symptom of headache as being self-critical or not wanting to accept what is going on. Maybe you're a personality who is prone to high expectations and feels like I'm not good enough, I should be better, I should have done more. Or is there a work situation which you find very difficult to accept? It's very challenging, it really pushes you against the wall. How about your relationships? What's going on in your marriage? Right? Is there anything which is very difficult to accept and you haven't expressed? Maybe you need a good chat, a good talk. So the positive affirmation about it, I would say I love and approve of myself. I see myself and what I do with the eyes of love, and I'm safe. So a headache is a good indicator that your body is missing something. Maybe you need a breather from life, right? Maybe you just have to drink some more water. Maybe you need to change your diet. Maybe you have a vitamin and nutrients deficiency, or you have a food sensitivity, or you have allergies to environmental toxins. With headache, there are certain triggers, and here you have to become your own Sherlock Holmes. You have to try to find what is triggering me here. Because the headache is a pointer to something else. The pain in itself can affect any region of the head. Maybe it can affect one or both temples at the same time, the side of the head. It can be isolated to a certain location. It can radiate across the head from one point. It can even have this vice-like quality. It can have a sharp pain, a throbbing sensation, or a dull ache. It can even come up gradually or suddenly, or it can last from a few hours to a few weeks to months. So headaches are triggered by stress, I would say, top of the list here. Mental, emotional, as well as physical stress. If you are tired, if you haven't slept, if you have experienced long work hours and you're fatigued, you're exhausted. Allergies I mentioned. There can be environmental allergies as well as food allergies. Eye strain. If you sit hours in front of the computer, your eyes get tired. Poor posture, right? Comes with the same token here. If you sit in front of the computer and slouch all the time, or sit over your iPhone or your devices, it really hits the neck. That could be a trigger. Needless to say, excess alcohol or drug abuse, as well as low blood sugar. For the women out there, if you experience hormonal challenges, headache is part of that. And most of all, the digestive system. If you suffer from constipation or digestive ailments like distension of your abdomen, bloatedness, gas, your liver is affected, headache, yes, is just a side effect of that, as well as nutritional deficiencies. So your body is telling you that something needs to change. And therefore the headache is a pointer, right? It's not an actual symptom. So in this video, let's focus on the common headache. And in the next video, I want to really dedicate more time to migraines because they need a little bit extra attention. But overall, there are about 4 common types of headaches. Now, the first one is called tension headache, and the name gives it away. It's caused by tension, right? And it often appears even in teenagers. The tension headaches are known as stress headaches, chronic daily headaches, or chronic non-progressive headaches. They can have mild to moderate pain, and they come and go over time. Then we have the cluster headache. Not as common, but more intense the pain, and here often we have this burning or piercing pain behind the eyes, very uncomfortable. They can occur in groups over a period of time, so can stay for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months, and they go away and then they come back. And here it's very important to find out the causation. And then we have the sinus headache. This is caused often by an infection in the head area where your sinuses are affected. So we have 2 sinuses below the eyes and above the eyes, the bridge of the nose, and all this mucus and phlegm is just sitting there. Maybe you have a postnasal drip going down your throat, and that causes you the headache. There can be even pressure in your ears. You maybe have facial swelling, and it's very uncomfortable, right? You feel like, oh my God, my head is going to explode any minute. That's because this mucus needs to drain. And then, of course, we have the migraine headaches, which are very difficult because now the senses are involved. People who suffer from migraine, they're very sensitive to light, to noise. They have to be in a dark room. They can be even experience vertigo, nausea, vomiting, and so on. That's why I want to spend an extra video just on migraines. And then we have the mixed headache syndrome, which is often a combination from migraine symptoms to common headache symptoms, and adults and children can be affected by that. So what are the causes? Just to summarize it again. Usually it's a sinus infection, can be a cold, fever, throat infection. Eye strain, yes, I would say. Even back strain, if you have spinal misalignments, cervical spine, your neck is affected. Environmental causes, absolutely. If you're exposed to tobacco smoke, smells of chemicals, even perfumes, people are very sensitive to that. And don't forget the genetic layer. If there's migraine on a regular basis within the family, you may be prone to it as well. Food allergies, I mentioned, hormone imbalance, and look at your vitamin and mineral imbalance. And I want to spend a little bit on that as well in this video. Often people bypass that, but you may be lacking vitamin B complex, just as simple as that. And of course, stress, right? Look at your life. Now, let's have a look at natural supplements. When I get practical here, And I give you some natural supplements suggestion as well as homeopathic remedies, and this combination works very well. And we want to start with magnesium. Magnesium in itself is fantastic for if you suffer from regular headaches. And it's just that it's an antispasmodic support here, particularly if you have tension headaches, right? It sort of relieves the spasm within your muscles. And they found out with studies that people who suffer from regular headaches, they have a deficiency of magnesium. Magnesium can also block the pain-transmitting chemicals in the brain. So I really advise you to take about 200 to 600 milligrams of magnesium a day, and that can itself reduce already the frequency of the headache attacks. You can take magnesium orally or intravenously. It is safe even for pregnant women, but of course, always go back to your healthcare practitioner or contact Medica Nova at medicanova.net for more help here. You need, of course, a professional advice. You also can get more magnesium via your daily diet. You want to bring in more beans, whole grains, seeds, nuts, vegetables. Green leafy vegetables are full of magnesium. I mentioned the food allergies, and here I want to say gluten. Yes, it really can lead to headache, and according, they said, to the National Foundation of Celiac Awareness, patients who have undiagnosed celiac disease, right, they're very sensitive to gluten, they can't take it, are more related to migraine headaches, or a combination of migraine headaches and regular headaches. And when you take off the gluten from your diet, they have seen a significant reduction in the frequency and the strength of symptoms. So that's a good point here as well. Have a look here. It's very, it can be as simple as that. Now, we talked about that headaches has a lot to do with tension. So externally, you maybe want to look at using some essential oils, either ice packs or also lavender essential oil is really beautiful here. It relaxes the nervous system. It's a mood stabilizer. It's even a sedative. You can put it in your bath, a few drops, or put it on your forehead or the back of the neck, in the occiput area. It's a safe and effective treatment, especially for headaches. So just would even smell it. It just calms you down a little bit. Now, we talked about posture. Now, chiropractic care, I think, is great here, even Feldenkrais therapies. Of course, they're drug-free, surgery-free, and they could just open up the spine a little bit. And again, we have several clinical trials indicate that the spinal manipulation therapy can help in treating headaches. Now, I had an experience last year where I worked too much, was sitting hours in front of the computer and was sticking out my head like this, right? And needless to say, I created a horrible nerve impinged headache. And it was like an electrical shock going right in the back of my head, which caused me visual disturbances as well as vertigo for a while, nausea, and I really got alarmed. I thought, oh my God, there's something seriously wrong with me. But it was a posture misalignment. And if you stick out your head like this, it's like 20 to 30 pounds more on your neck. So, being an upright posture, maybe buy yourself sort of a neck hammock, which you stick at the doorknob, and you lie in there for 10 minutes, on the floor, just releasing the stress in your neck can help also with your headaches. So I use chiropractic treatments, and I have to say they helped. They didn't cure it. I had to come up to other means, but it opened up this tension in my cervical area for sure. You also want to think about acupuncture, right? Just to open up the meridians Maybe a massage will do it for you as well. You maybe heard about the herb Feverfew. It's a fantastic herb, especially for migraine headaches or headaches in general. It reduces the pain, even the nausea and the vomiting or the sensitivity to light or noise, which is affected here. Comes usually in fresh or freeze-dried or dried bottles, or you can have it in herbal extract, in capsules. But I think my most favorite here is the vitamin B complex. Now, we have about 8 vitamin Bs in the complex, and they help the production of neurotransmitters, especially serotonin, which you need in your brain, but also it is produced in your digestive system. Actually, more serotonin is produced in your digestive system than in the actual brain. And therefore, there's a direct link with your general stress level as well as your headaches. So they improve the brain cells, the circulation, your immune function, as well as your cardiovascular health. So a combination with homeopathic remedy, magnesium and vitamin B complex might be the answer here. So stay hydrated. I think that's a no-brainer. Often people say, hey, I haven't drunk water all day and therefore I have a headache. And as soon as they drink water, the headache subsides. So make sure about that one. Now, by the end of the day, if you have regular headaches, you maybe want to have a detox bath, a hot bath. You put in a cup of Epsom salt in there. If you don't have that, you maybe put in some baking soda instead and add maybe a few teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Really nice, it sort of drains the toxins from your body, and it's also good for your joints in general. I would say stretching and moving your body when you have a headache. Get up from your office chair with 20-30 minutes. Open the window, breathe in some oxygen, fresh air if you can. Just change the energy field, and sort of that this build-up tension is just having a space and time to just find an exit hole, really. And that's what this often with headache is all about. Of course, rest if you can, if you have the space and the time to do that. Often a compress, external application will help here as well. People use either warm compresses or cold compresses. With headache, often a hot water bottle in the neck helps. With migraines, people prefer ice packs. Now, I looked on Dr. Axe's favorite homemade muscle wrap up, and I like it, so I thought I'd share that with you. He makes it himself, and here he shared with us his ingredients, which are very generous. So, half a cup of coconut oil, a quarter cup of grated beeswax, 2 teaspoons of cayenne powder, 2 teaspoons of ginger or turmeric powder, 15 drops of peppermint essential oil and 15 drops of lavender essential oil. And what he does, he gets a glass jar and he pours the beeswax as well as the coconut oil into the jar and places the jar then in a saucepan with about 2 inches of water and over medium and low heat, so everything melts in the jar. And then he stirs it and then combines it with the cayenne and the ginger and the turmeric. And then once combined, lets it cool a little bit and then adds the 15 drops of peppermint essential oil and lavender essential oil. Then he mixes it well and he pours the mixture in little metal tins and storage containers. And you can use this wonderful homemade salve on your forehead, the back of the neck, sort of breathe it in, and it's just handy to have. But of course, I'm a homeopath, and so I would like to share with you now individual targeted homeopathic remedies which work for very specific keynotes, and that is core healing. It's not just about the vitamin B complex or the magnesium, it's about individual tailored protocols. And I'm going to share with you some homeopathic remedies which you can get hold of in your local health food store. And the idea is you, in an acute situation, take one tablet, put it under your tongue, let it dissolve, I would say every 15 minutes to half an hour, up to maybe 6-8 tablets. If there is no improvement, maybe go to the next one in line, right? But of course, if you're in doubt, contact your healthcare practitioner and contact me at health@medicanova.net. I'm happy to help you. I would say the first remedy in line would be Belladonna 30. That is the potency. In the health food store you get the potency 6 or 30. So that's the over-the-counter, easy available potency. So go and get a 30. Now here we have a throbbing headache, pounding, right? Throbbing is the keynote here. It's a bursting type. And it can be in the forehead, can be in the temples. Your face can even become very hot and the eyes can even be fiery red in color, even bloodshot eyes. And you have this heavy drooping in the eyelids. Again, the keynote here is a throbbing headache, like boom, 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 boom. Somebody's knocking from inside. That is Belladonna. On the other hand, if you have a headache, a frontal headache, which is more of a bursting, splitting type of headache, think about Bryonia 30. Fantastic remedy. It's also a remedy which starts at the back of the head. The occiput travels upwards, and you have this feeling as you have been hit by a hammer from within. So it's not a throbbing headache, but sort of a splitting, bursting headache. Another feature is that the headache occurs often having a haircut. Yes, it's like, you got a haircut, a little bit wet hair, and you go outside and, think about your children. You take them to the barber and suddenly they don't feel well. Could be Bryonia. There's a lot of retching going on, even bilious, like from the gallbladder, vomiting. And the keynote here is the headache is worse from any movement. So even coughing or moving your head or even blinking with your eyelids, everything makes it worse, right? So they want to be in a still place. Don't talk to me. That's why it's also a great migraine remedy. Think about Bryonia. If you just had a cold or you're in between a cold or flu and you have a headache which is very dull, you're tired and it starts at the base of the neck, extends upwards, you feel totally tired, your muscles are achy, you even have vertigo, think about Gelsemium 30. It's a flu remedy where you have these headaches. Again, people want to be just quiet, lie still on the pillow. And it's often, as I said, indicated when you have a flu. On the other hand, that's for women out there who have hormonal issues and you have a congestive headache, which is worse during the menopause or due because your periods are suppressed, they're not regular, right? They're irregular, they come and go, call it suppressed menses, or you have a headache in place of your period, think about clonine. Fantastic remedy here. It's an excellent remedy for headache also caused by sunstroke or by exposure to heat. Violent throbbing headache can be confused with Belladonna But it's also a headache which comes on due to high blood pressure even, right? You can see headache has so many triggers here. Now, let's talk about the emotions. If you have experienced a difficult, challenging time, maybe a loss of a loved one, maybe your pet passed away, and or you broke up with your relationship, you just go through a very intense divorce, and you have feelings of grief and loss. That could be the trigger of your headache. And I would say here the remedy Ignatia amara is wonderful. The typical Ignatia headache is as if a nail was driven into the head, right? It's very localized. Maybe in the side of the head, you feel like, oh my God, I feel like a nail is just pushed through. It's not like a throbbing headache. And the headache often gets better, funny enough, when you go to the bathroom and just have a good pee, right? It releases with the flow of the urine. Another emotional remedy which comes to mind here is Natrum muriaticum 30. Can be 200 here as well, but go for the smaller potency here. Often it's indicated for children, teenagers, as well as adults who are a bit anemic, right? They have lack of iron. There can be a throbbing and a blinding headache, which occurs quite regular. And here the sensation is as if thousands little hammers were knocking in the brains, right? Which are worse usually in the morning on awakening. It's a chronic headache, and it's from sunrise to sunset, we say. Often these people are very shy, introvert. They keep the emotions to themselves. That's why it's all suppressed, and therefore we have the headaches, right? So very sensitive people. They don't cry very easily. If you happen to have sinus infections, we talked about this before, and your head is just clogged up, you have this postnatal drip with your mucus going down the back of the throat, and you have headaches, which are over the eyes, especially the right eye, think about Kali bichromium, Kali Big 30. It's a fantastic remedy for opening up your nasal passages so the mucus can come out and relieve the pressure in the head. And then I want to mention also the remedy Nux vomica 30. It's a good remedy if you have overindulged yourself in excessive food, alcohol, you partied way too hard, and then you have a headache, usually starting at the occiput, the back of the brain, even causes vertigo. And you feel like you're turning in circles, right? Nux vomica is a good remedy. Again, feels like as if a nail is driven into the top of the head. Now, I mentioned that the headache can be at certain sides of the head, right? So if this is more for the women out there, but if you have hormonal challenges, you go through menopause right now, and there's a periodical headache which occurs every 7 days, right? Every week, and the headache is more on the right side, the right temple, think about Sanguinaria canadensis. You can get it in the health food store too, and it starts at the back of the head. The occiput spreads upwards and settles over the right eye. It's better, of course, for lying down and having a good sleep. But there can be even pains which resemble like the flash of lightning, right? Can be with bilious vomiting, earache even, but it's very distinct on the right side of the head. And then if you have the left side, it would be Spigelia 30. And here we have violent throbbing pain as if there's a band around the head, right? if you have this sort of like, tight band around the forehead going all the way back to the back of the head. It comes again in regular intervals, spreading from the brow to the face and the neck, involving the left eye. Now, I'm going to give you some sort of herbal extracts, which are very nice here as well. And in my research, I found that school teachers who suffer from regular headaches maybe can benefit from the herbal extract Scutellaria. It's skull cap. It's like, it literally says it, a cap on your skull, because you're so stressed out by 30 kids in your classroom screaming all the time. So it's really great to take that on a regular basis, particularly if you have dull frontal headaches which affect your eyeballs. And again, it's better from frequent urination because there's release. There's also another one called Damiana or Tunera diffusa. It's also a general one for headaches in a regular basis. 40 drops, maybe Damiana. It's like a dropper full, gives immediate relief often. It's sort of a shrub that grows in Mexico, Central America and West Indies. Is also an aphrodisiac, so of course there are hormonal issues involved. It's often used for impotency or prostate problems, but you can relieve just the nervous system with some Damiana. So as you can see, your headache displays unique expressions and symptoms, and no headache is alike the other, right? And therefore requires an individual and tailored treatment. Now, if you have any questions or require more help, please contact me at health@medicanova.net. As I said, I'm happy to help here. So next time, let's take a closer look how you can heal your blinding and often life-depleting migraine attacks with natural and effective protocols. And so stay tuned here. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, click the bell, and share and like the videos with your friends and family. And for today, much love. Take care.